Today in Crazed Performance Repair, we have this 2018 Ford Mustang, I think GT here. I am not good with the acronyms and all the little details on these cars, but anyway, we are going to be doing a turbo kit on this car. So it's going to be going to twin turbos. I don't know what I'm getting involved with, but I do know I can do it. So we're going to get started on getting this job accomplished here. And with that, we'll be right back. So before we get started, I got a table here. I'm going to go ahead, clear off a couple things quick, and then there's a bunch of boxes down underneath this table. And these boxes that are under this table are all the components for this car. So I'm going to start unboxing some things, and we'll get some parts laid out here so that I can see what I'm actually getting involved with, because this is going to be quite the project to deal with, as you can imagine. So first thing I need to do is see what parts I'm dealing with, what I may or may not be missing, just because I don't know if the kit's, it's supposed to be a complete kit. I'm sure I'm going to run across something along the way, and obviously I'm going to be taking you guys along for the ride on trying to figure out what all is involved in this kit. Now, this is a online purchase of a kit. It's from some kind of reputable company. I don't know the company off the top of my head, but what I'll do is I'll go ahead and throw into the description where the kit came from, what it is, and maybe even a link to the website for the kit. And that way, in case you're looking at doing this on your particular car, I can guide you through how I learned how to do it, which will be faster than any average Joe, because I do this on a regular. And then we'll go ahead and just walk through it, and then we'll go for a test drive when it's all said and done. Of course, this is going to be a bit of a series for a video, because this is going to take a long time to get this kit done. So let's get some boxes undone and get some parts out. Alright, see I got a lot of parts out here. Obviously these are the squirrels. Let's see what we got here. Or snails, I should say, not squirrels. Wow, can't believe I call them squirrels. So those are the snails. Now this looks like a fuel system diagram. So the fuel system is a Ford Innovations. Ford is a very good company for fuel components. So the reason I don't know any of this system is because this is all ordered per the customer. I have nothing to do with getting any of this stuff. He claims everything should be here, and I trust him. Obviously, him and I both know that kits don't always come with everything, but everything that's theoretically needed should be here. And I believe he's probably done enough research on it to have most everything. So yeah, this is going over all the different components that come with the kit, from the pump to all the different things, the filters, etc. Pump, regulator, filters, things like that. See, this is a inline fuel filter element. That's the fuel regulator. Those are nice regulators, those 4 regulators. I put a few of those on the Corvettes that I've done. Okay, this is some kind of a splitter unit, not sure. So I've seen this on the Corvettes. It's kind of a poor way of doing it usually. We'll see what this one involves in. But you see this little fitting here? This is actually for the stock fuel line to plug into. I may end up talking to the guy and we might redo the fuel system. Still use the same pumps and stuff, but redo it so it's more efficient and better off fuel line and whatnot wise. Because this car is going to demand a lot of fuel, and we want to make sure the fuel system is probably better than what they designed it for. Got some little eyelets here. What else do we got? That's all that is. We also have the electrical system upgrade for this fuel system, because there's some heavy pumps involved in this thing. Somewhere, I imagine it's one of these boxes. Obviously this video is going to be a bit of an unboxing video out of the gate. This is very, very interesting. Interior, so this has fuses in here. Oh, it's like a billet fuse block. Wow, that's fancy. Cool. Geez, that looks like something you'd see on a snowplow or something heavy duty like that. One thing that we do have to upgrade on this is the oil pump. So this is an oil pump gear upgrade. It must be more volume or something. I haven't read into it yet, but that's my guess. So we'll be doing the oil pump. That'll be a little bit more complicated section of the job. I might make a separate video just on that. Their braided fuel line. I do not like the stainless braided line. If it ever frays, it catches your fingers, it hurts. It's kind of a pain in the butt. The length of this line is pretty long. And my guess is I'm probably going to go to hard line on the majority of the system and say the heck with this braided line, put it aside. This also is only 6 AN, which isn't a very large line. So I'm a little concerned about how much fuel system they're giving this thing. It might be pretty limited to future upgrades, and we might be changing it to something that I want instead so that you can upgrade more in the future. Let's see what this looks like here. A twin pump kit. They included a Dicom marker in the kit here, so it looks like a blue Dicom, so that I can mark things, mark the lines and such. That's kind of funny. We got a nice little fuel block in here, and then the other bag is just full of fuel lines. So all fuel system stuff so far here. There's the fuel rails. So we are upgrading the rails. All right, let's go to some of the cooler stuff here. We have, I think this is the blow-off valve, I believe. Yep, there's the blow-off valve. It's just one of those big wide open ports going around the diameter here. So no fancy whistling, just a big whoosh coming out of that guy. And then this is probably the waste gates, which should theoretically fit these headers. Okay, so we got some waste gates. Another thing that needs to be done when you're doing this system is the alternator needs to be changed. The guy told me that the alternator's smaller, I guess, versus the vehicle. So that smaller alternator is supposed to make room for the turbos, somehow. I think these are forward mounting headers. They go either this way or this way. I'm not sure yet. I have to look into it. I believe it's probably going to go this way, towards the front of the car, and then the turbos are going to be up here. That's my guess, at least. So we'll see what happens when I do that. We have the air-to-air exchanger, and then the first thing that I unboxed was all the exhaust. Let's go ahead and get started on taking the front half of the car apart and get the components out of the way that we no longer need, all the stock components.
So at this point, taking it apart, I had already realized that it is quite difficult to get at the exhaust manifolds. I was starting to work on various different things, from the little bolts and studs that are in there, and I moved the steering shaft there for that reason. And as I'm going at it, I'm realizing that it's going to be much more of a challenge than expected, because the passenger side manifold can't even come out without dropping the cradle. So you can see I'm starting to prepare for dropping the cradle, and what I end up deciding in the end is a bit interesting. So I actually end up going a little bit deeper than expected, and I will be talking about that in just a minute. Of course, this is my future self speaking during this little video clip.
So if you haven't figured it out by now, I am obviously going to be pulling the motor. I've decided to pull the motor. I've talked with the customer. Pulling the motor is actually more cost effective for them to do labor-wise than doing the different jobs individually. So pulling the oil pump and pulling the manifolds actually takes more time than pulling the motor and then doing it after I get it out. So it's kind of funny how that ends up working out. So we're going to get the motor pulled out, and when I do, he decided that it's time to upgrade some other things too. That way he's foolproof for the future if he decides to crank this thing up more than what he was originally planning. So we're going to end up doing some rods, pistons, getting this thing fully upgraded to accept some serious power, might even do a crankshaft. So I am going to go ahead and get this serpentine belt off of here, and this is actually a stretch belt. There's a special procedure to pulling this off, so I'm just going to do it while I talk, but this motor is going to be coming out of this vehicle. So the whole job actually makes more sense as far as labor-wise to pull the motor out and then do the timing chain and the... Oh, come on. Come on. These things are sometimes easier to do with the proper tool, but there is a way to do it here without it. There it goes. So it actually makes more sense time-wise to do the motor out, then do the oil pump, then do the manifolds, and then put the motor and stuff back in. It's going to save a lot of time and make it a little more affordable for the guy, if that's all we were doing. Now, you're going to want to stay tuned for the next episode for sure, because on the next episode, I'm going to get this motor completely out of here, and when I do, we're going to be pulling it apart a little bit. Hopefully, we'll get quite far, but this is a pretty complicated motor, Now, he is going to be upgrading pistons and rods at the same time here because of the fact I'm going to pull the motor out. He decided, okay, let's go all out. Let's get everything done. We might even do the crankshaft and cams, but he's going to look into what kind of options he has available. And with that, like, share, subscribe. And as always, I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching.